Hello and welcome from Hildesheim, Halle 39 in Germany, an iconic European Tour venue where we've had a sensational return for the European Tour. And the fans in the arena here are singing this man's name, Devon Petersen, who has just won his first PDC title, beating Johnny Clayton in the final. Devon, this is an incredible moment in your life, isn't it?
No doubt. I mean, it's been in the making for probably the last 19 years. I started playing when I was 15. It's been hard work in the last 3 to 4 years. I mean, I nearly lost my tour card in 2018, and it's just hard work all the time. I mean, the likes of Wayne Mardle, Conor Lloyd, my dad, Andy, my wife, my kids, everybody. You ultimately realize that all the sacrifice that goes into it, this is what it means. I mean, that word champion means so much to me, and it just means it's one of those stepping stones to the career that I've dreamed of.
Look, this has been an incredible weekend here, and Devon has been a massive part in some of absolute blockbusters on the Euro Tour. Your game against Gerwyn Price, where you came from behind, hit 8 180s, survived a match dart and just got over the line. And then to follow that up on the final day, you've averaged 100 for the whole tournament this weekend. That's world-class darts, but this has been coming, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've been focusing hard and obviously changing over to Trinidad and Condor flights and so on and so forth. I mean, behind the scenes, it's been, the lockdown has been, I know it's been tragic for most families, and obviously our hearts go out to them. But for me, ultimately, in the Petersen household, it's meant that I can practice for 4 to 6 hours a day, and ultimately it's 4 months of the year that you will never get a chance to practice. So I put everything correct, and it's just like you said, it's been coming, the summer series, autumn series, and just to build up to this. I mean, I lost in the final against Gerwyn Price, 4-match darts, but being in that spot, it's allowed me to win in the way I did today, which was fantastic. Johnny Clayton and professional performance as well. I mean, he needed to get to the Grand Prix, and in the final, I mean, I just felt as though I just wanted it so bad, and he just said he couldn't live with me, and I didn't even know what was happening ultimately until the last double win-in.
What did it feel like to get over the line after coming so close to winning your first title at the Autumn Series and missing out? To get over the line in that final and hold that trophy. You're a PDC title winner. You're the first from a player from South Africa, the first African player to win a PDC title. This has massive ramifications, doesn't it?
No doubt. I mean, my entire career has always been to inspire and aspire Africans to compete on this level. I mean, I know that we have loads of players that are competing, and it's just the expense and financial input that they don't have the opportunity that I've obviously awarded myself in the past. But I know that with a champion victory like this, I mean, it puts Africa on the map, it puts South Africa on the map, it puts the players that are competing continuously on the map, and giving them an opportunity is a major thing. I just didn't win it for Devon Petersen today. This was absolutely for Africa.
And he mentioned himself in the third person. It was only a matter of time before Devon Petersen did that. Look, to do this is just the start. But was there a danger we wouldn't have got here? Have you worried about whether you could do this? It's a number of years you've been trying to make it as a pro, and there have been some very tough times in there with injury, with nearly losing your tour card, with, I would imagine, wondering whether you can compete at the top level. How hard is it to deal with that to get to this point now?
I've always had the self-belief. I just knew that it would take time, and I know that if I was always wondering whether the tour would allow me the time. You know what I mean? The quality of the players that you're playing week in, week out, is the best in 128 in the world. So it's tough. I mean, me coming from South Africa, Mitchell's playing, and you realize that you're coming from literally an unknown place and competing in the best of the world. To win this is amazing. But like you say, I mean, was there a time, and I can tell you now 100%, there was never a time that I didn't want to be a professional, and there was never a time that I thought that it was in doubt that I would lose, or not lose my tour card, but I would never be a professional ultimately. And now this is just the icing on the cake, and hopefully a stepping stone towards greater things of me becoming a world champ.
Well, you mentioned greater things. You mentioned the World Championship, but this was the final weekend of qualifying for the World Grand Prix. Pretty dramatic as well. Devon Petersen is going to be there. We knew that. Johnny Clayton, the man he beat in the final, needed to win a game here to get to the World Grand Prix. He managed that emphatically. But we are going to see the likes of Peter Wright, Michael van Gerwen, all of these guys competing in the double start format. It's new home this year at the Ricoh Arena in Coventry. That's coming up on Sky Sports in a week on Tuesday. The draw is being made tomorrow morning as we speak, so Monday morning. Look out for that on the PDC social media channels. but a debut at the World Grand Prix, one of the big ones. What's that going to be like, Devon? Because you go there as one of the form players in the world this year.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's always been one of those things where I always felt like I needed to play well through the year. My biggest things was to make the world champs because I always wanted to be a world champion. Now, having the opportunity to qualify for majors that are back end and obviously for next year, like the likes of match play and so on and so forth, has always been a pipeline dream, and now it's become a reality. And I think that with the Grand Prix, it's been in my sights, and I think the autumn series has secured my place, which is fantastic to feel because it would be in a tournament that I ultimately know that only the top athletes in our sport qualify for, which is the likes of Grand Prix, Grand Slam, and match play. So yeah, for me, it's one of those little tick boxes. But now going into form, like you said, I feel as though I can win every tournament. But it would be easy for me to say that now, starting with a championship trophy. But ultimately, it's just one of those things. Like all the processes and progress that I've made, small little milestones that I've touched and ticked off, it just brought me to this place, and I feel like I can conquer the world.
Well, this place, Halle 39 in Hildesheim, it's the second Eurotour event of the year. We've had to wait many, many months, but we have 2 more to come as well. So after the World Grand Prix, we're in Sindelfingen, the Glaspalast, then we'll be in Riesa the following weekend. It's all coming up over the next few weeks. Devon Petersen is certainly a man to watch, but you can watch him at the World Grand Prix, the Ball Sports World Grand Prix. The draw Monday morning, and then it gets going a week on Tuesday. This man goes there as a Eurotour winner because the European Tour is where dreams are made, and this man's just came true.